Alright guys, if anyone was going to ask me what is the most important and first modification done to a motorcycle, other than making sure that it functions and stop well, it's going to be a seat. If you're going to put in any time in the saddle, doing long trips, dirt bikes probably don't need the most comfortable seats, but because we're a dual sport, because we're / adventure bikes, a good saddle is just so nice. One thing that I've discovered is I'm not designed to sit down for long periods of time. Which is great on the KLR if I'm out in the dirt and standing on the pegs, but there are some days when I have to make some saddle time on the highway and get home. And all those options out there, the Corbins, the Sargents, you're talking of hundreds and hundreds of dollars out there for good quality foam and to recreate the whole thing. Everyone is so different and so subjective. Some people absolutely love the hard foam of the Corbin. Some people like the medium sort of foam of the Sargent. Talking to the guys at Seat Concepts, they probably said that they do have their foam about closer to what a Sargent seat is. Now, if you call in, you can actually get firmer and softer foams. It's not on their website, I don't think, but they've started making seats for just about everyone. What you're looking at is the KLR650. This is called their commuter model, and as you can see, the seat area is sort of dished out and scalloped. A couple things I love about this. One, it lowers your seat height, so it makes it a little bit easier to actually get your feet down on there if you guys are having trouble. They do make a low version and a high version, so you can kind of adjust it that way. But this Seat Concepts commuter is kind of a little bit of both. You get a nice scalloped area that help keep you in your seat if you're doing anything crazy. You stand up on the pegs, and immediately, this is nice and scalloped. It's super narrow. You don't have any interference issues. You get your knees right up on the tank where they need to go, and I've been super happy with them. Now, let's go back and let's show you what the stock 1990 KLR seat and the foam inside actually look like. And we'll take you through kind of the install process just a little bit. Super straightforward. Peel all the old crap off, put a little bit of spray on, get the new foam on. The commuter seat is going to have a wire inside here, so it's a little bit different. They'll actually have the cover partially installed here, and then wrap it around. I bought a high quality electric staple gun, and we'll go to that right now. A quick mod that a lot of guys really love is for 20 bucks. You pick up this sort of ATV padded cover. Because ATV seats are very similar, like quads, it fits most dirt bikes and or KLRs, dual sports, things like that. It's called the $20 Walmart mod. You can pick these up a lot of places. There's 3 straps around there. They clip on. It's not that high quality, but it definitely helps for 20 bucks. I would say it extends a good hour plus into your riding time. There is a company called Seat Concepts, and what they do is they provide you the cover and new foam, and you keep your base plate and you do all the work yourself, which is a great way to save money. So in front of you, you'll notice it's not flat seat anymore. This is what they call their commuter model. They use a very nice foam. Kind of gives you a look at the underside because it's the commuter model, and they pinch down the fabric here. This is the metal reinforcement for that, pulling it through the foam. If you order just a straight replacement, you won't have that part. But the foam on this is extremely nice. You definitely won't bottom out on this. We haven't given it a ride test, obviously, so we'll give you kind of a long-term test down the road. But just to give you an idea, this is their perforated top. And then the really nice touch is the softer material that they used on the underside here, which is going to be rubbing up against your tank, which is very nice. So what we're going to do is pull all the staples and do all the work ourselves. Get all the staples off this guy, get the old foam off. I'm going to give this electric Stanley model a try. I've got a couple test staples here. Went with the heavy duty. Couldn't find any stainless, but these are heavy duty anyway. Bigger than the stock ones anyway, as you can see. And I've got good penetration in there with the electric. You just have to push down pretty good so it doesn't bounce back. Quick trick I was using is the Craftsman little magnetic piece here to hold all the staples. There's a lot of them, as you can see, and the last thing you need is a bunch of staples in your driveway. Alright, one reason to do this outside and not inside, especially if you're doing it on an older bike, is you can kind of see here, the foam is literally just coming out everywhere. It's going to make an absolute mess. I'm just going to peel this here. There you go. Not too bad. Not sure if someone's patched that or what that's from.
You can see the whole side where you normally ride gets quite a bit. The foam is absolutely garbage on this. Just night and day difference when you actually feel the foam. It doesn't even seem like it's really on here by but a couple dots of glue. So it's that simple. Well, there you go. It's on there. It's not super pretty. I did notice the heavy duty staples that I picked up, they're a bigger gauge of wire essentially, but they weren't quite as deep as the stock ones. So I had a few that I pulled out because I wasn't happy with the location, and they pulled out fairly easy. So although I got fairly good penetration with this guy, not sure if it's exactly strong enough for this task, but it definitely worked. We'll see longevity, but I don't have any wrinkles. The seat itself, I'm losing my sunshine, sorry about that. Nice smooth finish, and the only fabric that I trimmed was kind of up in this top tank area. I honestly didn't have that much to stretch over here, which is kind of weird. If you watch their own video, the guy has oodles of extra room, maybe because it was a little bit hotter. It is springtime, but I did have this sitting in the sun to kind of help stretch it. Maybe it's just the seat design of the commuter bucket. It doesn't quite have as much extra material, but if you watch his video, he's got quite a bit that he's trimming off, and I was struggling quite a bit just to get it pulled down far enough to get a staple into it. I mean, this isn't trimmed. That's as much as I could get, really. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We can always try it again. It's not the end of the world if it starts pulling off, I guess, but time will tell.
So you see, super easy. For the money, I don't know why anybody, other than a little bit of spare time, would go with a Sargent's or a Corbin's or anything else. I've got friends that have tried both. They equally say save the money and get yourself a seat concept seat. Hands down, one of the best investments you can do if you're going to be doing. I mean, the KLR is so versatile. Depends what you guys are using it for, but no matter what, you're going to be sitting on the bike if you're not standing on the pegs. Good quality seat is worth every penny. And I've kind of brought you over to this side. So we've talked about in some of the other reviews, we're coming up on over 30,000 miles that I put on the bike since I bought it, since you saw that seat changeover. And the only issue I've had is this seam over here. If you can see, it's white, and we'll zoom in on it a little bit. So just being totally honest with you guys, so when the bike's on the kickstand, it's facing the other side. So every day when you put your boot over there, you're slightly rubbing this outside layer of where the seam comes together. And over the last 30,000 miles, it's worn not just the fabric down, as you can see, that little bump is kind of worn through, but this small little section, it's about an inch, is actually got the threads have worn now in this spot. So I may either just try to get this repaired locally. I have contacted Seat Concepts. Now I've had this for years, and like I said, 30,000 miles. I'm not expecting to get a warranty issue out of this, but they will sell you just the cover if you're worried about longevity with the company. They just don't sell it on your website so that people aren't, actively just stealing their seat covers. But you can call them up and do a phone order and get a seat here, and that's probably what I'll do. Talking with the lovely lady there in the office, she basically said all of them wear about the same. You can get different textures and grips and sort of suede covers, but all of them are going to be just as durable. So I don't expect to get a different material. I'll probably just replace it with their stock vinyl. It is kind of a perforated seat, as you can see on top, and then just stock textured vinyl on the side. And we're going to be doing that down the road. So I may just either put a little glue on here or stop these from unraveling until we get that handled. So, stupid simple. You're using your stock pan, the 2 bolts on the KLR. Everything fits because it fits exactly the way the stock is, because your pan is the stock pan. So you don't have any issues with this. So this is the original pan. Haven't had any issues. You can see it wears a ton. I've got lots of dirt under here, but all my little tiny staples and homemade job, I've never done anything like this before. I'll put in a couple close-up pictures. You can see how it's wearing. If you're worried about wear on the paint, the front area is actually a softer, kind of a microfiber-ish type cloth area. So if you're worried about scratching up against the paint, don't. As long as you don't have a staple or anything sticking out obnoxiously, then you won't have any worries. But it has been pretty nice. The taller section in the rear, I do have highway pegs on here, but for me, it doesn't really add any length to my feet. I'm 6'4", I'm a pretty tall guy. But on long trips, what I'll do is I'll actually come back here and I'll sit on this part and put my feet on the highway pegs just to give myself a stretch without having to stop. But I really like it. I've had a couple 2-up short trips, And obviously nobody's complained about it back here. The KLR is not exactly designed for 2-up, but I highly recommend the commuter option over just a stock one. And if you have a different bike and you don't have the KLR650, I still go to their website and see what they have. Awesome foam, high quality, good vinyl for less than half of what the other companies charge. So I haven't found any sort of magic or potions or unicorn blood that the other companies use to make it worth that price, other than assembly possibly. But highly recommended. Seat Concepts, guys. Enough blabbing for me. Get on the road, and we'll see you out there.